Okay, good evening, teacher. It's a pleasure to have you here behind your screens. I will explain my community project, and let's start. Well, as an introduction, I want to tell you that, as you know, it is difficult to go into a public institution to teach a class. That's what I try to adapt into the circumstances that we already have. What I did, well, since we are in a pandemic and it is difficult to get permission to be allowed to teach a class, I am currently working as a teacher in a pedagogical center, and I was telling my boss it is possible to teach a class there and to help our community. So I tried to give like 3 or 4 lessons, I think it was, for a public institution students. We gave them like a scholarship to take those classes, and I was asking for the parents if they allowed me to teach their kids, and they were so excited because they have been having some issues to teach English because most of the students are taking like GTAs or Guía de Trabajo Autónomo, right? So they have been in a process where they have to try to look for information and try to look how to teach their students because the time that they're spending at the school, it's really short. That's why I decided to take into the consideration that to help that the parents as well as the students and helping teaching the classes. I took 2 ways. As you know, we have some regulations that we cannot have a big group all together. So I tried to take like around these two people, one individual tutoring, and as well by virtual. So I designed the whole project by doing like on this way, taking some of them by presential and a student by virtual to help them because it was a little bit difficult as well to the parents to come to the pedagogical center and to stay there for an hour that tutoring was all while her or his kid was taking that tutoring. And we have the antecedents, so it says that global situation that we have are going through such that pandemic has not stopped yet. So in some moments we have total closures, such as education institutions, and having a significant delay in the learning process in students. That's why some of them they're taking GTAs at home because they are like going to the classes. After that, the cases during the day increase, so they stop everything and they have to come back to the home again. So it has been really difficult the students to understand that and the parents as well. So I try to focus on the pronunciation because this is the most important part right now. So they have to read a lot, they have to understand a lot, but the delay that the students are getting, it was difficult in the past to try to speak fluent English because we don't have for example, too many classes per week to teach that. So that's why I try to make it like that in that way. And as justification, I wrote something like this: that this is why that making the use of the technological tools, it will be possible to work with the students at the distance that allows them to reinforce and understand the different topics that must learn to acquire skills in the learning a second language. So the main idea is that we are going to reinforce, try to make understand how to pronounce the different things and how to create a little bit of conversation and try to encourage the students at the moment that they are working on the English subject. And as objectives, the main idea is to reinforce about the topics that they are studying in the classes at the school, helping to finish a little bit the GTAs, Or in that case, try to evacuate any doubts that the parents will have, and the students, if you explain a little deeper the topic, they will be achieve the GTAs in a simple way. And the topics that we were practicing in that moment, it was the community helpers and the community buildings, and they were like practicing how to give direction as well, and I was reinforcing the numbers, days of the week and days months of the year, because most of the time the kids are not understanding how to pronounce, for example, Thursday or January, that start with the just sound, to make it clear and a better understanding for each other if you have the opportunity to explain or to talk with another person who speak English, right? So that was the main objective that I focused on this project. And well, as I've been telling you, my description of the project, the main idea was to be able to attend a public school to implement the strategies that students can acquire that develop on their skills in the English language. But through the pandemic, the situation is an issue that must be treated with the great care by the rules implemented by the Costa Rica Ministry of Health. So that's why I decided to take this. A few students into the pedagogical center to help him there. And another, it was a little bit difficult to get into the pedagogical center, so I attend the classes by virtual. So I designed a planning to adapt by virtual and as well by presentiality. The approaches that I use to be used, it was audiolingual methods, basically because I want to encourage the students to help them to practice pronunciation, to practice the conversation, and to develop the speaking part or the speaking ability or the speaking skill. Because most of the time they are reading a lot, they have using the total the grammar translation methods, but I think that is not enough. We have to work with an integration of the four skills. So since we are in a pandemic again and they are like no having the whole classes during the week, they have to take the extra homework at home. So that's why I decided to change it like that. And the outcomes basically is to develop the pronunciation, because I was like practicing the numbers with some of them and they were like pronouncing 11 like the 11, and I was like, no, it's not the 11, guys, you have to use it like 11. Look at this e that we have in a word, so it's not like sound that they, it sound like e. So I was explaining some details that they understand the way that how to pronounce correctly. And the limitations, of course, the COVID-19, so I cannot have it all together at the same time, so I have to take individual tutors to achieve the main goal, that it was to help them to practice the community helpers, community buildings, and to review the numbers and months of the year and days of the week. And here, as you can see, I have my plan. I make like three different plannings to teach the classes, so I was like helping them. As I said before, they were from public institutions, and the level that they were, it was for their grade. And I was like helping them, like making my classes really interactive, because I want them to play it and that they don't feel that they have to be there like studying or helping me with a project. No, 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 at all. That they feel like comfortable, really safe, and they wish like coming every day to my classes, right? So I was like with a box explaining the prepositions. This is the lesson plans that I have over here. And with a box, I was like, okay, do you know what is a preposition? And I was like, no, teacher, I don't know how much about preposition. What is that? Okay, the preposition is a location of an object. For example, if I am asking, I need a pen, where is your pen? So your pen is on it's in on your pencil case, or where is that your paper is under your book. So at the beginning I was explaining with a box and with a little ball and explaining like this is in, this is on, this is under, this is in, this is on, this is above, and all the different prepositions that we have in English and how to use it properly. And then after that I was like using some worksheets and different platforms. For example, talking about the students that were presential, by the students that were in by virtual, I was working with them with a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, and I was designing like um, the things there to make it interactive as well. And at the time that we were practicing the preposition, I was able to ask, do you have two objects on your desk? Maybe it could be a pen, or but he was at home, so he was like, oh teacher, I have a car, I have a T-Rex, and I have the scissors, can I use that? And I was like, perfect. Okay, let's practice the prepositions by using the three objects that you already have. And I was like using my objects. I was using pen, color pencil, scissors, and as well a golf ball that I already have on my desk. So I was like, this is in front of, the ball is in front of. Could you repeat it? That ball is in front of. So I was like encourage this kid to use it, and I was watching him through the camera, and he was doing so well, and he was following the instructions that I was giving to him, and by presential as well. And then I was like using some resources about online pages that have practices about that. And then I was looking for information about the different buildings, about the community workers. Most of the time they teach separately, so at the beginning you have to learn about the buildings, then you will be knowing about the community helpers. But I was working as well in a PowerPoint presentation, including all together. So this is a hospital, and in the hospital works a nurse and the doctor. So could you tell me who work at the hospital? Well, the doctor and the nurse. So as well, I was using that different techniques to make him understand quickly in an easy way, and try to not complicate it the English, doing it really simple, and that the students could be or having the capability to understand and to put into the practice. And then when I was working with the directions, I was creating a map as well in the PowerPoint presentation, and I created like a little card that I was moving there, and I was like, okay, we are going to get into the drugstore, and remember that we have turn to the right, turn to the left, go straight ahead, across front, or between. Where is the drugstore, or how can I get to the drugstore? Whereas you can see, you have to go straight ahead. Then in the corner, you have to turn to your left, and between the bakery and the supermarket, there will be the drugstore. And they were like, wow teacher, that is really interesting. And when in a piece of paper I designed to take printed streets and the different elements, and we were creating like a map, and by using a card they were like going through and looking for the instructions and how to get to the different places. And the students, they were really like happy and interested on learning a little bit more. And well, as conclusions and recommendations, it's really important to give to parents the feedback how the students are working during a class, what things they are struggling a little bit more, what kind of things they have to focus or review at home to practice. I was explaining to parents as well how to help the students at home and how to give like strategies to make them practice and how they could study to achieve the GTAs in case they have to do an extra one, or how to understand the things that they have to follow. And as well, the students, I would like explaining them all the time. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. If I have to repeat it 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 times, whatever you need, I am here because this is your time. The main idea is that you are having a great time and that you are learning. And they were aware all the time by asking the questions, and we were moving, and as well by virtual, I was like trying to catch their attention, and it was really a magic moment when I was like moving the card into my presentation, PowerPoint presentation, where the kid said, "Oh, teacher, you have to be careful because I cannot see like cars, but if you are driving like that, you are going to crush." So that's made me laugh, and that was a really funny moment that we could have during the class, and that was a moment that I can take the engage and the interest, the different interests that the little kid has about that. And let me show you in the next slide that I have my evidence. As I have been telling you before, I was creating like materials to work with my students who were presential, and as well I have these kind of worksheets that explains where the teacher work or where the firefighter works, so we can like color the one that was correct. And I have online practices as well. I have on a TV there, so I could put my computer and practicing as well with my kids. And this is the PowerPoint presentation with the different materials that we were discussing, and I was like including like how to say this is the bank, and their work, the cashier, or who is a cashier, what is the who is a cashier, what is the functions that he have to develop in the bank, and worksheets. And I was looking like for similars to adapt into the virtual mode and into by presential as well. And I think that's it about my project. And how was my experience? It was so fun, and I think this is very insane about what is a pandemic, but the opportunity that as a teacher we have to increase our knowledge and to adapt at the different moment that we have to create materials to make it by presential or to make it by virtual. And because if you don't have your students and there, so it's really important to know that. And I was really happy and about the feedback that the parents were gave me. And like, teacher, I will see you in the next year because I want to pay extra tutories with you. My kids or my son, my daughter is so happy with you. So I was like really proud about the work that I did with these kids, and to make them engage and to give a little motivation to them to explain, to make them understand, and to make them fall in love with the language, because English is really beautiful to learn, and they will have a lot of opportunities. And I was like, can you imagine if you found a person by the street that don't speak Spanish, and he's asking by a direction, and you can help him like going straight ahead, turn to your left, and then you will find the bus stop, or if he is looking for the drugstore or for a school, or you can make direction how to get into the school because he's going to be a new teacher or English teacher there, and so that kind of stuff. So for me it was a pleasure to be working with them, and I hope to see each other the next year. And well, I've been like enjoying this community project a lot, and I hope that I gave all the information that you need. And thank you so much for you to paying attention, and I hope that you will have a great a Christmas Eve, a great time with your family, and a happy New Year as well. And thank you so much, teacher, for paying attention about my community project. So bye bye.